put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right.
What is going on, Believers? I hope everybody's having a good morning. My name is Bleaves. This is Breakfast with Bleaves, and we are starting off the day with yet another Bitcoin pump. Now, not only do we have Bitcoin pumping, but the alts are starting to pump just a little bit. We're starting to see the precursor of a nice little bit of a run. Dow pre-market is down, but that's not because of anything other than the JEET effect, and that's because early investors. This is we've got about a half hour before the launch of the market, and at this point, there's a little bit of a pullback. And the reason is because today is another earnings day, and we're going to see what the earnings are coming out. And because of Monday, people were a little bit nervous because of that Apple. Then we got some great news from the banks. We got great news from Netflix. And then all of a sudden, we get that nervous sentiment again today. So we had a little bit of pullback, but we did have a massive run of 754 points yesterday, which means that you can only run like that for so long. We've talked about this and we've touched on it time and time again. Getting that Dow Jones in the right direction is such a big deal. And the SPY ended over 390. A lot of people are saying that that's going to be an indicator that this market is about to get sent. And some Bitcoin analysts are now predicting a much higher Bitcoin over the next bunch of days through the end of the year. I think the prediction through the end of the year was 35,480, which I think I'll take that. I don't know if that's the number that I would pick. I don't know that we have a path to get there, but let's just say that if I could get on the 28th, and I'm still relying on that 28th dip, but if I could get a $12,000 Bitcoin, then I don't care where it goes by the end of the year. I'm all in on Bitcoin. If I know that it ends up in the 30,000 range, that seems like a very simple, very easy sort of profit. I mean, let's face it. If you have a $40,000 vehicle, you sold your $40,000 vehicle, and you bought just nothing but Bitcoin for $40,000, no matter what the fees are, no matter what anything is, at the end of the year, if you got 35,000, and you got a 3x off of it, and it's 120 grand. Nothing to sneeze at. So we're definitely hoping for the market to start pumping, but let's go in and let's look and see what is going on right now. As you can see here, Bitcoin broke out of the channel, and guys, we've been following this channel for a long period of time. Let me turn off chandelier so that we can get a better look at it. We've been following it all this time, waiting for it to break one way or another. Now, what I said was the natural progression of this was that it was going to hit, it was going to come down, we were going to get another little move this way, and then we were probably going to fall off that ledge. Well, we're getting closer to where it looks like that may not happen. We are now in a position where most analysts are now predicting that we could see this thing continue this move all the way up to this pot, and somewhere in this area right here is where it all ends up, between 28 and 27,000. Now there's some correction. There's 24.5 right here. We get a little bit of downside, so it goes up. Then 26, I think 26, we get another little resistance pocket there. So it's going to start making its way up, but over the next couple of days, we could end up with about a 28,000 Bitcoin. And that seems like a stretch. It has seemed like a stretch, but now all of a sudden, it is starting to feel a little bit better. And guys, if you feel like I just drew a dragon, maybe I did, probably nothing. But, these things are starting to feel, like they're a possibility. So let's not, we're not going to get too deep into it. We're not going to again, we're pie in the sky wishing at this point. Let's get into chat and see what's going on. Ulysses, good morning. Jose Pedro, good morning. What's going on, man? Terra Classic to $5 would be insane. Seiko Hunt, what is going on, man? Thank you for the $20 bomb, Seiko. That's a man that knows how to celebrate a birthday. What is going on, my man? What's up, Cody Core? Crypto B in the house. What's going on? Lorenzo, what is happening? Hey, man, you were asking about it last night, right? So here we are today. We got a nice little run. By the way, let's go over here and let's follow my trade here. We were talking about this trade. I need to get to the 15 minutes because I got it broken out by the 15-minute candle. And then let's pull it out here just a little bit. So this is what ended up happening last night. Last night we went in around 2 o'clock yesterday. I went in 23,650 on a 15 ETH trade at 1576. I got out right before we went live at around 7:30 at 1603. So the total take on that was $406, and that's after the fees. So I did pay $5 in, well, $7 in and $5 out because, you know, fees have not been that great for the last little while. So this was a nice $400 made. Now you can see here that we were hitting this top, by the way. And when I hit this top at 1615, I said to myself, I was not in a position where because I was not paying attention, but I saw it at 1615. I thought, you know, I got to get over here and make this, go ahead and make this trade. And then a few minutes later, I was like, you know what? I'll take care of it in a few minutes. And I came back over and it was at 1610. And I said, let's give it a little bit of a ride, see what happens. Pop down to 1603. That was my limit. I was already in profit. We're up $400. It's my birthday. You know what I mean? Happy birthday to me. I'll take $400. And then we just kind of moved on from there. Now, I was looking for a dip, and we got the dip down here to 1580, but I did not see the dip because I was prepping for this show, getting everything ready, and absolutely missed on that one. So now I'm waiting for a bit of a dip in order to get back in, but I want to show you guys that's what we ended up doing yesterday. So continuing to make good trades. This one, you know, of course, this is when they don't take as long as the last one. I always feel good about that. But that's where we are. That's what happened. And yeah. So pre-market. So pre-market is at minus 39 right now. The reason that this is at minus 39 right now, again, this is just the JEETs exiting early in the day because they're looking to pull out before it starts to get a little bit nervous because we're still waiting for the earnings reports. Earnings reports will start coming out very soon. When we see the earnings reports, then, you know, maybe this thing starts mooning again. I mean, if you look and we go take a quick gander at the Dow Jones, then you can see here on the 1 day, of course, we ended in green on the 1 day, but the 5 day is up from 30,743 all the way to 31,827. That's a really good increase. The monthly is from 30,530 to 31,827. Still way down on the 6 month. And of course, we're way down on the year to date, the 1 year, but we're up on the 5 year. Of course, you know, you're always going to be up. The longer you get yourself a view, the better off that's going to end up being. So as this moves on, I think people are starting to move back in because last night we were looking at it. It was up, I think it was 39. And I was telling you guys, like, you know, maybe we're going to have a good night. It's a little too early to tell. Then overnight, it was down 104 when I woke up this morning. And I thought, oh, man, we're going to have a bad day. Then I started trying to figure out why, and I couldn't see any reason why. I looked at the European markets. There's nothing wrong with any markets anywhere. So there's no reason to think that this was going to happen like that. So then I started looking, where's the earnings report? And then as soon as I pulled up the earnings reports, they're not out yet. And then it said investors cheating a little bit over the investor reports, not knowing what it is that we're going to get today. So, you know, we'll see what the reports say today, and then we'll figure it out. But in other news, Gary Gensler outlines what to expect from the SEC on U.S. crypto regulation. He, you know, SEC Chairman Gary Gensler outlined what to expect from his agency on U.S. crypto regulation Thursday in an interview with Yahoo Finance Live. He asked, "What can we expect from the SEC in the coming months on the crypto regulatory front?" You know what? That was not his. That should have been Gary Gensler. Gensler replied, "More broadly, the public right now would benefit from investor protection around these various service providers, the exchanges, the lending platforms, and the broker dealers," the chief elaborated. "So we at the SEC are working on," I think he says working on each of these three fields: exchanges, lending, and broker deals, and talking to industry participants and how to come into compliance or modify some of that compliance. Gensler stressed he has repeatedly told crypto exchanges, trading platforms, and lending platforms, "Come in, talk to us." And is that the case, really? Is he really doing that? Because here's what he's done. Look, he has sued multiple cryptos and settled with almost every one. And he's getting punched in the mouth by XRP at this point. So all of this stuff that he's been doing that he says has been going on, not exactly. The public benefits by knowing full and fair disclosure that somebody's not lying to them. Basic protection. Now, that's important. So when we talk about that, then we are talking about a very important thing. That very important thing is this. Look, there's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of scams out there. And it would be nice if we had some sort of regulation which would prevent the scamming. But at the same time, the more we allow the government into this space, the less freedom we will end up having. They will take over. And I don't think people understand that. I've heard a lot of people in the beginning, look, Bitcoin was founded on libertarian principles of us and not the government and no governments being involved. And that's changed. Now we're starting to see institutional adoption, and we're seeing this acquiescence of people saying, well, with a little bit of regulation, sure, it would be a lot better. And that's because they got wrecked on, little things like that. And that's not, and what that does is that's breaking down people. So now all the people who were telling you before, like, we don't want the government involved. The reason that we're doing this is a hedge against inflation. We don't want the government involved because this is our freedom on the line, are now moving back to it's a hedge against inflation, which is not the same argument. And mass adopted. There's not the same all of the things that we were arguing before. We're not arguing now. Now we're arguing, well, some regulation is going to absolutely be necessary in order to get more institutional adoption. Fine. And you know what? That is true. But that's not reality. That's not the better interest of crypto talking. That right there, that's greed. Because here we are at, what are we at? 1.1 trillion market cap. Where were we at our high? We were at 3 trillion. So we're at 1 trillion market cap right now. And you know what? For that one, we're going to go over here and look at CoinGecko. We're at 1.12 trillion market cap, 134 billion trading volume. Bitcoin dominance at 40%, ETH at 17%. So we were at 3 trillion at one point. So, listen, this is, in order for us to get over 3 trillion, what we have to have is mass adoption. We have to go back and look at, and we have to be able to decide for ourselves, do we like what we're doing? And these are our global charts. This tells us what we've done so far, and this gives us that 3 trillion blow off top that we had way up here. Now, the question in that is, do we want to see it again? Because if we want to see it again, then it's going to take institutional adoption. Institutions will not get in deeper in crypto because they want regulation. We also experienced that little crypto dip down here, that crypto winter. Remember, we were at 1.1. We're literally where we were. God damn it. All right. This is stupid. No bullshit. Okay, this is last year to this year. This is the dip. Let me show you something here. Do you know we were at on July 20th? On July 20th, we finished the day at 1.207 trillion market cap. And then that sparked July 20th. Again, my birthday last year was the worst day in crypto for a numerical perspective. The 21st was 1.3. We gained 100 billion, and then it keeps going, right? So we have this big ass run. Well, guess where we are today? The 19th, we closed at 1.059. Today, we're looking at 1.12 trillion. If we close the day at 1.2 trillion, if we have a nice run and we close the day at 1.2 trillion, then that looks like it might be an upside move, because that's what seems to be happening right here. We might be getting that little bit of an upside move, and you're starting to see some similarities in the market back then. What if, and just follow me here. What if this right here? Shit, why is this stuff not? God damn it. What if this right here and here, all the way down to here, is the same, a little bit drawn out, but as this right here, and flattening out right here, and then taking us down to right here. That's almost the same. It's almost the same formation. It's just a little more drawn out, because remember, crypto gets better over time. There's more mass adoption over time. There's less weak hands over time. So what if we're about to witness another one of those blow-offs, and we're headed up over the next bunch of pie in the sky wish list right now. But it's kind of funny when you start to look at these charts and you start to see patterns emerging, and you don't expect to see the patterns emerge, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh shit, there's the whole thing. This is potentially, when we look at this right here, we see that top, that false top, then we see the big top, then we see that plateau right there, and then we see this top right here, then we see this big top right here, and then we see this plateau right here, and then we see that downward motion, and then we see the uptrend right here. So what if that uptrend is what we're seeing right here? We're not seeing a full blow up of the market, but we're seeing, what if we go from 1.1 trillion to what do we need? 1.6 trillion, 1.8 trillion, maybe 2 trillion. What if that's what we're about to see? Like, what if that's how the market is about to play itself out? So we'll see. But I digress. Gary Gensler. We're also looking at the tokens and stable coins and non-stable coins separately. We do have discussions with the bank regulators and with our friends and colleagues at the CFTC. That's the Commodity Futures Trading Commission. So he's got a whole lot of blah, blah, blah. Now, listen, he wants to make everything sound great. He wants you to be excited about the SEC, because he's like, hey, guys, listen, someday we'll find it. A rainbow connection. The lovers, the dreamers, and me. Goldman Gary wants nothing more than to control the crypto market and keep fiat as the important thing. Now, we're going to look at the DXY, by the way, before we get done with this. But over here, we have another article that says, is the SEC power hungry and treading on an unconstitutional path? Now, I don't like it, and you should see by this point, hey, I don't like Gary Gensler. I think he's a scumbag, okay? But I don't think that, look, he goes home at night. He's a great guy, I'm sure, to his family and anybody else that he's friends with, right? He just has a certain belief system where he has a certain belief system that I disagree with. He's big into fiat. I think that he goes home and says, hey, I wonder if I could smell my own asshole if I tried. I'm going to do that really good right now. I hope I can bend enough. You know what I mean? Like, I think he just does weird things that I don't do, but hey, you know what? That's on him. So are they overreaching? And I do think that here we go. Hellbent SEC. On Tuesday, the senator posted a video on Twitter showcasing the exchange of words between himself and directors at the financial regulator.
Thanks, gentleman from Minnesota, Mr. Elmer.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and Ranking Member Huizinga for hosting
this hearing today. Mr. Grual, you frequently acknowledge that public trust and confidence in our capital markets has eroded. In fact, on October 13, 2021, you stated, quote, "The decline in trust undermines the investor confidence needed for the fair, efficient, and orderly operation of our capital markets. Put simply, if the public doesn't think the system is fair, they are not going to invest their hard-earned money." Close quote. I agree. But time and time again, you place the cause of blame for this erosion of trust almost squarely.
By the way, before we go further, this woman on the right over here, does it look like she's being held hostage and that she's being forced to sit there and not blink? Just follow it.
And the shoulders of industry participants and companies. Mr. Grual, the SEC is in no way blameless here. Chair Gensler's political regime at the SEC, carried out by its Division of Enforcement, has been characterized by a focus on using enforcement to expand SEC jurisdiction at the expense of public resources, public investment in our country, and public trust in our markets. It seems clear to everyone, except maybe those at the Commission, that the SEC is not regulating in good faith. Although many sectors of the industry have grappled with the SEC's politicization of regulation over the last 14 months, it can be seen most clearly when it comes to the digital asset industry. Take, for example, industry sweeps. As you know, industry sweeps are not novel to the digital asset industry. They are a series of voluntary document production requests.
I wonder if that alarm was, hey, check your hostage over your shoulder.
Everyone in a given industry who is similarly situated or is involved in the same type of activity. Mr. Grual, does the SEC Division of Enforcement do industry sweeps?
We do industry sweeps from time to time when we have additional.
Thank you. The answer is yes. I reclaim my time. Are there currently any industry sweeps underway?
So I can't talk about investigations.
You can't talk about it legally, or you won't talk about it?
It's our policy not to confirm or deny investigations.
So you won't talk about it. All right. What do you do if a company, sir, cannot respond to a sweep letter because they're not in your jurisdiction?
If we issue a voluntary request for information, there's not much we can do. We can proceed with the subpoena and then a subpoena enforcement action.
So you do extra jurisdictional requests then?
Voluntary requests are just that. They're voluntary. They're an important part.
Again, sir, I'm not asking about the request now. I'm asking about the people you direct those to. There are some that would be within the SEC's jurisdiction. There are some that are not. My question is, and I think you've confirmed it, that you do industry sweeps to extra jurisdictional market participants, people you do not have enforcement authority over.
We subpoena individuals and witnesses who may be in the market participants.
Are they within your jurisdiction and outside of your jurisdiction?
We're not limited by our jurisdiction. When we're collecting evidence, we follow the evidence wherever it leads it to, whomever it leads. There may be someone who doesn't work in the industry.
So I would say, sir, I would ask you, so you do extra jurisdictional work. Some would argue that that's not appropriate. But Mr. Grual, has Chair Gensler ever directed you, or to your knowledge, asked any of your colleagues to make it a bloodbath for companies who don't respond to a sweep letter, which are voluntary?
Uh-oh.
No, that's not that.
Interesting. We become aware that Chair Gensler has in the past directed the Division of Enforcement to send a sweep letter to a particular sector of the crypto community, designed to jam them into a violation that is allegedly unconstitutional. And if any company does not respond to said sweep letter, which I'll reiterate, as you've said several times, are supposed to be voluntary, then the SEC would make it a, quote, bloodbath for them. If true, I imagine such a tactic would significantly erode trust between the public and the SEC. Here's the problem. The SEC isn't interested in clarifying what areas of the crypto industry fall under SEC jurisdiction. We know that because FinHub, that you've referred to, the SEC division focused on crafting crypto regulation, has essentially dissolved under Gensler. Nonetheless, while abandoning good faith attempts to clarify how the Commission's existing authority applies to digital assets, the SEC is hell-bent on expanding the size of its crypto enforcement division and using enforcement to unconstitutionally expand its jurisdiction. Under Chair Gensler, the SEC has become a power-hungry regulator, politicizing enforcement, baiting companies to, quote, come in and talk, to the commission, then hitting them with enforcement actions and discouraging good faith cooperation. Understand, sir, there is a new day coming. Thank you. I yield back.
Now, at one point, you thought that guy was going to tilt his poggery to the side and be like, that's never happened. But he was absolutely getting clowned, because that's exactly what's happening. And the reason that he used bloodbath is because Gary Gensler himself has said that, and it's been repeated over and over again, that Gary Gensler is out for blood to try to take down the crypto industry, not regulate it, but to take it down. Now, is that the truth? Probably not. It's probably a mixture of in between, because we get our information from people who like crypto, and we're not getting the whole truth anyway. I think that here's the thing. What if you think that fiat currency is the safest, most reliable currency and money that there is? Well, then you would have a vested interest in protecting the well-being of the people that you are hired to protect. And if you believe that cryptocurrency by its nature is scammy or cannot be regulated or controlled and leaves itself open to issues like that, well, then you would do everything you can to protect. Now, imagine if it was your kids. Imagine if your kid had $1 million, had just got $1 million. You were so happy for you were so happy for the kid, and then they put it into crypto, and they put it all in Saitama on November 11th of 2021. Just think about it for 1 second. How would you feel about that industry at that point? You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at it from their context, and we'll see what happens in the next little while with this regulation. There will be some regulation, but again, I think that we should be fighting the entire step of the way. And let me also point out that at one point, we're in the DeFi community, we're in the DeFi space, and guys, that a lot of these cryptos we're using, we have a bucket list of what is it that we do in crypto. Well, in order to create use cases, what do we do? NFT collection. What else do we do? We do a swap. Now we're going to do or an exchange. We do a swap. What else are we going to do here? We're going to start our own blockchain. What else are we going to do here? We're going to start a launch pad for other tokens. There's a playlist, by the way. There's an entire playlist of things that we do to create utilities. And I swear to God, I wish I would have taken a screenshot of Strange Inu, because it had like 13 different use cases that it was just throwing out there. But everybody's just kind of throwing it out there and just creating all these different use cases in order to give it the appearance of value. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we're all kind of doing that. And do we add value? Does that add value? Nilo, I said it was going to happen on the 20th. Oh my God, it's one of those people. God damn it. Exactly. There it is. 1 million to 3,000. Like, you would be all over that thing. And you would be just kind of freaking out. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, let's move on. So 53 fintech experts predict Bitcoin's next move. This is what we're looking at right now. Many predictions have been pouring in as Bitcoin struggles. And you know what? Let's unwreck this asshole right here. Matter of fact, Powder, whatever your name is. Here's our prediction. On the 28th of the month, we're going to 16,000, and somebody else, most other people are calling for 12,000. So we'll see who's right. Skilo Green. I don't know what your name is. Whatever, bro. Ski. So anyway, according to the Finders panel of fintech experts, believe Bitcoin will be worth 25,473 by the end of 2022. However, there is no rainbow without rain. Therefore, Bitcoin could witness a short-term slump, which is expected to push its price down to 13,676. As seen in the chart below, several of the panel were inclined towards Bitcoin hitting the 13K range. And this is where most of the people thought it was going to go. You can see here, there's a lot more people that are kind of in my range. They're looking at the same thing that I'm looking at and thinking, like, this is probably the spot. but you're getting a lot of people over here, a lot of wrong people that are predicting that number over there. And I'm not calling you wrong just because you're wrong. I'm calling you wrong because I'm right, and we can't have two, right? So by 2025, most of these experts agree that 300,000 to 420, and I'm pretty sure that these people right here that wanted a 420 Bitcoin, they're just the potheads. You know what I'm talking about? You get it. For 420, 240, like, come on. They're telling me something. They're telling me, yeah, bro, it's like 420, but also it's like 240 because I am way too high. What was the number again? You know what I mean? Like, it could have been 420 or something like that. Like, give me a break. Anyway, so most people are saying right now is the buy time. So even if we're at this number right here, it seems like for me, I would disagree with that, because if we're at the buy time, why are we buying? Look, we're buying at the top of a chart that's blowing to the top. We're probably going to see 24.5 in just a little while. Like, it seems like we're ready for that run. The U.S. market just opened, so we're going to take a quick gander back over at. God damn it! I keep forgetting I don't have to do that. All right, so the Dow came in at minus 28 to start the day. The SPY is down 0.06, but it looks like both of them are maybe quickly going to reclaim their numbers. We see this is on the minute chart. So minute by minute, we're seeing the first couple minutes. We're getting that nice little dump. And we're already seeing that wick start to turn into the hammer formation. So, it doesn't look very bad right now. Down 53, down 52. The strength of the dollar is going back up. Now, that is cause for concern. If the dollar goes back up again, then, of course, it makes the rest of the world look bad. So I'm not sure that continues to stay that way, but that's where we are on that. So they're saying that's either a buy or a hodl time, and only 10% are saying that it's a sell time right now. So we'll see how that plays out. Ripple versus the SEC. The XR community loves the latest court ruling. So developments in the SEC Ripple lawsuit have been inconsistent, but the XRP community kept an eye on every development. The onlookers of several motions filed from both ends, some resulting in being accepted. Before getting into the latest development, it is worthy recalling that attorney John Deaton and a group of XRP holders filed a motion in March of 21 to intervene in the case. In October of last year, their request was rejected by the court. Now, that was because they wanted to be involved in this, because they believed that as holders, they were being disrespected, and they thought that they had a cause of action, because they felt like, look, these guys we're no longer on Coinbase, we're no longer on Gemini, we're no longer on all these places where we were being traded. These guys, the SEC attacked us and made us lose money and our investment based on what they call a bad case. The SEC made a mistake. In October last year, their request was rejected by the court. However, they managed to obtain the amici status, enabling them to file friends of the court briefs. This May, the hodler's attorney requested the court permission to file an amicus brief outlining the opinions of SEC expert Patrick Doody. Now, look, I think his opinion's going to be shitty. In one of the latest developments, the SEC has filed status to be revoked. The plaintiffs substantiated their argument with 5 reasons. The 4th reason stood out and asserted that granting permission would duplicate the defendant's effort. Ripple, on its part, remains opposed to the same. For admission motion, the defendants contended that the SEC's response to its quizzing were quite deficient. Resultingly, they asked the judge to order the SEC to amend its responses to these RFAs. They additionally wanted the SEC to undertake a reasonable inquiry that included questioning of the SEC speaker to verify authenticity, leaving no loophole for the SEC. Ripple has also argued that if the regulatory body persisted in claiming that it lacks sufficient information to respond, it should be mandated to supplement its response and explain in detail why it could not admit or deny the claim. So now in the latest ruling, Judge Sarah Netburn, look, Sarah Netburn is going to get a statue. She is going to be, look, she's going to have a statue right next to a statue of a Bitcoin on the stock market at this point. As released her order, Ripple said RFA, the order as such is granted in part. The SEC was asked to file amended responses to one of its policies, employee reliefs, and other queries. It is noteworthy that some of the SEC's RFA objections were sustained. People in the community, Ripple scored a point this time as the judge is covertly pinning the SEC down on the fair notice defense front. Opining on the same, Attorney Jeremy Hogan claimed that he loves how she's making the SEC draft the same. Representative of the Ripple met with the members of the SEC and other U.S. regulatory agencies on or about October 29, 2013. She's making the SEC respond to exactly what their want. Look, this is what everybody wants, because the SEC, what they do and what they say have consistently become duplicitous. And when that happens, then you have to be able to hold them down, because they can't say, well, we think that this is illegal because we don't like crypto. That's not a reason. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, we think it's bad for you. We think it's like, they're not giving us reason, and they're just throwing everything out there. By the way, if you ever look at the SEC's defense, the SEC as the plaintiff, if you ever see their complaints, then you will see that they are throwing it. Well, it's a scam. And they have this broad spectrum of things that they think that they've broken the law on, and none of it has stuck so far. So that's where it is. That's where we are. And now the SEC is going to be forced to unredact a whole bunch of information and stop hiding, because what they're trying to do is they're trying to hide all of the information and make sure that people are not able to see. They're trying to scam this judge, basically, and it's not going to work. Anyway, so Mike Novogratz, by the way, is frustrated, and he's a lunatic because he's a Terra Luna holder as heck, because a bunch of crypto idiots. Now, Mike has been, and this is a bad take for crypto, by the way. Mike has been a proponent of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and he says, what I don't think people expected was the magnitude of losses that would show up in the professional institutions' balance sheets, and that caused the daisy chain of events. It turned into a full-fledged credit crisis with complete liquidation and huge damage on confidence in the space. So Terra Luna collapses. Everybody who's invested in Terra Luna collapses along with it, and everything just continues to fall down. And of course, it achieves the death spiral, and then everything just starts to minting new tokens. You know, whatever could go wrong is going wrong with it. Fine. But then he's pointing out, you know, when this happened, this was not the normal. And listen, here's what most people are saying. All right, here we go. We're going to 24/5 right now. I think this is when we get the push. But what he's, what ultimately people are saying is, without what happened over here with, let's get those turned off. And I'm on a 1 minute chart. Oh my God. Let's go to 1 hour. No, let's go to 1 day. So without, boy, this is not my day for handling internet stuff. Without what happened at Luna, we would be trending in the 30,000 line. We would not have had this dip down to 20,000. That's what most of these people are saying. Like, this is the fault of Luna collapsing and taking cryptocurrency with it, because what it did is it scared out institutional investors who otherwise, or other investors who otherwise would not have done this. Now, the other thing to that is $60 billion in money was wiped out of this market. And that is a crazy number. $60 billion of this market was absolutely wiped out in one fell swoop by the collapse of Terra Luna. So just, take stock, take perspective on the amount of money that this collapse caused. And that's what put us at this $20,000 number. And it didn't have to be that way. And now the reason that we can't move up is because we're still paying for it. Voyager, 3 Arrows, Celsius, all of these companies are failing, and they didn't have to. It was just caused from this ripple effect from whatever was going on here with Luna. And now here's the thing. He's been a vocal promoter of Luna's Terraform Labs, and he had endorsed the now defunct token a host of times in the recent past. The exec even had a Luna tattoo and has previously referred to himself as a lunatic. In May, Novogratz said his Luna tattoo will be a constant reminder that venture investing requires humility. And look, he thought that Do Kwon was smarter than the algorithm. That's what he really thought, right? So he paid for it. But he further blamed over leveraging for having taken down firms. Now, listen, we go through this every cycle, right? Who thinks you have to put out 9 point? I'm going to go back to Celsius. Celsius was offering an interest rate of 9.32% on UST. UST is just pegged to $1. You literally can't make 9% off of it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you can't. It's impossible. There's no way to do it. But they were offering 9.32%, and they were doing it for all stable coins. How do we think that ends? You know, I look at it and I think, here's what I think. I look at that, and then I was like, you know what, man, I would do that, and I would stable it. Like, that's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Then I realized, you know, that's not sustainable. You can't do that, because that's 9% growth. And if I can have 9% growth, why would I even invest in the stock market or something like that if I was guaranteed that growth? So there has to be something wrong there. And when you can't figure it out, and it's relying on an algorithm, or it's relying on a market that you know goes major up, major down, then you should be asking questions. And we didn't ask enough questions of these companies at that time, and now we paid for it. Also, look at this list of exchanges. This annoyed the shit out of me. Luna 2.0. Luna 2.0 is listed on Binance, Crypto.com, FTX, Huobi, Kraken, Bitmart, Voyager, Bybit, Bitrue, Bitfinex, Gate.io, OKX, BitGet, KuCoin, LBank, Lemon Cash, HitBC, Whitebit, BKEX, MEXC Global, CoinSwitch, Kuber, and Coin Metro. Like, are you kidding me? That's what they're listed on in very, very short order. Now, the reason that matters is because you're starting to see the Luna, the new Luna, working in action. And it had been down over here a few days to $1.94, and you're starting to see it move back towards an upside. And then we're going to say bullish and see what happens here. Luna, $10 incoming. This coin goes to that we have a lot of dumb people in the market that still need to get flushed out. There are some people that are calling for a $10 Luna in very short order. He's not the only one. They were actually calling for a $20 Luna because that was what it was at launch. But you're starting to see, or if you will soon start to see, the fruits of all the labors that they've been putting in to get this thing up and launched. Apparently they're ready to go. So we'll see what happens. Now let's move over here and let's do some checking out. The number one mover, the number one shaker, the number one on my chart. I just want you guys to see it. It's Saitama. Save your drama for Saitama. Now look, this is the channel. If you guys watch my Saitama video, I know most of you don't like it. I'm not a real big fan either. But I also, look, it's also the truth that they're going to make some money. We're going to see like some big movement out of Saitama, just like we are the rest of the market. So here we are at 39.29. They have broken out just like Ethereum broke out. Bitcoin has not broken out yet, but look at this. This is the breakout of Ethereum. This is the breakout of Saitama. It's virtually the same thing. So, I mean, think about that. Now, here's the thing. Going between 1,000 and 1,200, that's what, 20%? This thing, Saitama, is going between 3,000 and 3,600, basically the same thing. So it's moving along with the market right now. So, I mean, that's kind of crazy. Then we have BTFA that's up a few percent on the day at 90.38. I did see that it was starting to have a big upside move. Bandex still down here at 2060. WAGMI is finally showing a little sign of life. It's at 3,012, 3,013. Shift, a little bit of a move up again. This is not a volume project yet, but it was at 281,000. It's at 308 now. So, oh, by the way, that video I guess hasn't come out yet. So there's the video coming out. Then we have Sheep Doge continuing. It's trending sideways right now, but it's really had a nice move for the last little while. And remember, like, it was way down here at one point, and we're talking, what is this? 16 zeros, 45. Now we're at 15 zeros, 1869. So it's 4x'd from its bottom, which is, I mean, guys, that's a pretty good run. Then we got Phantom, Goat, Terra down just a little bit. We had a 51 ETH sale on Terrarium today. Put it back in the channel that we'd been talking about. Oh, and then we have a 45 ETH sale that also just happened. Not sure what's going on here, but we had 51 ETH sale right here. We had a 9 ETH sale right here. And then up here, we've got a 45 ETH sale. So we've clearly got some people out here taking their profit, taking their money, and I don't know what they're doing, but hey. That one's got Saitama written all over it. So this is probably, now if you remember here, okay, here we go. This is Saitama. This is old Saitama. So this is old Saitama money that moved over here. And if you remember, there were some people that were talking about this and that they were attempting to wreck the token. And there were a bunch of Saitama investors who had invested early and were trying to sell off and wreck the token's price. So I don't know that that's it, but it might be. And for anybody wishing me happy birthday, man, I appreciate you so much. Definitely want to have a happy birthday today. All right, man. Good luck. All right. So Saitama and every other token is moving with the market. None of them are moving the same way. Everybody's got their own variation. Generally speaking, yes, they are. But come on, you got to have content to talk about. Don't be a hater. All right. So back to this market. And for the record, not moving the same way. Not moving the same way. And not moving the same way. Look at this big move up here. This one's so far outside the channel, had nothing to do with it. So just remember those things. Let's go check Twitter and see what happened on Twitter. Matic. There was a big announcement with Matic, by the way. I honestly believe the Ethereum bridge. I don't remember what it's called here, but here we go. ZKEVM heads to Ethereum Layer 2. Polygon is gearing up to launch its first fully Ethereum-compatible Layer 2 chain on testnet ahead of a full mainnet launch in early 2023. So they're going out now to work on this Ethereum scaling solution. And man, if that happens, then Ethereum might actually end up being in just a little bit of trouble, because the amount of fees that Polygon is paying versus what you're paying for your Ethereum solution, not even close. Like, it is way, way different. So the fact that this is happening and is coming is probably a testament to any sort of positive price action that it might experience in the future, especially at night. It had this going on and just really kind of had a breakout the other day, 53 cents to 90 cents in just short order. And what did it cap out? Did it hit 2 cents is where it capped out. And now, since you guys keep bringing it up and you can't stop, we're going to talk about Quant. Where do I find Quant? QNT. One, because that ain't doing shit. All right. Thank you for the $2 bomb, Ryan Lee, by the way. And thank you for that two-tone knuckles. I appreciate it, man. More than you guys know. I absolutely appreciate it more than you know. So anyway, I don't know what the big deal about that is. Is it? Am I looking at something else? Is this the wrong one? No, QNT. That's the one. I don't know. We like it for some reason, I guess. All right. All right. So back to Ethereum, because that's the one that I want to close out with right here. So now we're at this spot where do we go? 23.9. You look here, the Dow Jones is still down 60, but the SPY is up. On the 5-minute charts, if you kind of look here, we've got 3 in the last little while. All right, I'll look at it. So we've got, since we went live here, we've got 3, 6. We've got a lot of price action. And a 1596 down here at the bottom. And let's do our chandeliers over here and see that. So we got the buy signal, and the buy signal came in around 1602, but now we're trading at around 1600. So that's a dip to maybe get back in on. Might be important to go look at the earnings and see what the earnings are looking like. All right, so CSX is expected to have a boost. Netflix missed earning. All right, so this is right here. Okay, so Tesla poised for earnings hit from China factory shutdown. So that's the one that we're waiting for. Is it not right? Are we not waiting for Tesla? Because this is Tesla day. So Tesla's the one that moves the needle. This is a $25 stock over the next 5 years. July 10, stock rose by 2%. All right, so daily movement down 12%. Indexes dip ahead of Tesla. What time is the earnings? Hey, Crypto B, thank you for the $20 bomb, man. I appreciate you, man. Oil has inched lower. I don't see a time for when Tesla rings their bell. Netflix posted their profits and then went to their after hours and posted their after hours profits and showed it looks like they showed a big revenue boost from Stranger Things and all that kind of stuff that they do. So we don't have the earnings report yet from Tesla, but when this thing starts to dump, you'll know it's coming. So people must be getting the rumors of it because now you're starting to see some pressure downward. Yeah, we don't care about Trump's thing. We want business, markets. Jesus Christ, why don't we just go to Morningstar? That'll save everything. All right. Here we go. Bond market is flashing a recession warning. Again, cheap stocks with the largest fair value. Market brief. Marathon's up. Netflix is up. So, yeah, I guess we don't have anything yet. Netflix earnings show lower than expected subscriber losses for quarter 2. So, Netflix ended up doing well. J&J earnings miss expectation. Innovation efforts. So Johnson & Johnson did not fare as well. Citigroup shows signs of revenue growth. All right, so still mixed signals, I guess. Like that's the epitome, I guess, of mixed signals right now. So all right, so now we're down to 1597. Now this is all right, here's the moment. Is this a buy sentiment for me or is it not? Like, is this the moment? Do we get in at 1597 and then just go on that YOLO ride where everybody says it's going to be at 28,000 real soon? 20,000 would be what? 10% run. So a 10% run on Ethereum would be about to 18,000. That would be around 17,005 by the weekend. Bank on it. So is this the moment? Do we wait for that sell? Yeah, let's just wait. Let's just wait and see what we get. We got 5 minutes are telling us to sell. 3 minutes are telling us to sell. 1 minute told us to sell 17 minutes ago. So it was real right. The 15-minute is minting poorly down here. So 30-minute is going to go red, it looks like. And then we got 1 minute on this candle, but it is starting to dip back down as well. Dow is now down 121 points. So they're not liking the earnings report so far. We can definitely see that there's a little bit of a pullback. So now we got to figure out what's the opportune entry point. We got to look at that opportune entry point to get back in. Or just ride this on the sidelines. Like, I'm cool with either one, really. We had a good bunch of days. And I think I'm up like $6,000 now in the last week. But remember, I had to hold on to that one bag for a week to get back to the right price action. Yeah, we got a nice dip happening right now. Is it healthy or is it crazy here? All right, so we're getting the biggest red candle that we've got so far, and it is 9 o'clock. It is my time. All right, guys, it is work time. There will be a bedtime with Bleaves tonight. We're going to be doing a birthday special edition, so we will have one at 8 p.m. tonight. It's not financial advice. My name's Bleaves. I'm always right. You guys have a good day and be very careful. It looks like we are having quite a bit of dip happening, and it might be a good entry point, at least for that short sort of play. If I make a play, I will post it, let you guys know, and then we'll talk about it later on tonight. All right, guys, take care, and we will see you again in about 11 hours.
I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. even when the market's sideways. I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. I'm always right. I'm always right.